Hello world, Phil here, and welcome to part two of how millionaires really get rich, the secrets that they normally don't tell people.
$80,000 of that we're going to use to pay off our old loan. Now we're left with $40,000 in tax-free money. And sure, our payment is now a little bit higher, yes, but it's still cash flowing, and now we have $40,000 in tax-free money that we can.
And if you're new here, this is just picking up from where we left off yesterday. So we finished off with this video, and now we're going to get started with the video after it.
Do whatever you want with. And if you want to learn all things financial freedom, make sure to give me a follow.
Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. 17 Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Part 10. Follow so you don't miss Part 11. Poor people are terrible receivers for two reasons. Number one, they feel unworthy and undeserving. This would be about 90% plus of the population. They're programmed from a young age in school to be told you're wrong over and over and over. As a result, many suffer from perfectionism and low self-esteem. Number two, they believe that it's better to give than to receive. How would it feel if you gave somebody a gift but the other person didn't want to receive it? You'd feel absolutely terrible. Think about it this way, if you're not willing to receive from others, the universe is not going to give to you. So start receiving. Follow for part 11.
What you want to do is save about 20% of your income, put it into the market over a 20, 30-year period. It's going to make 6 to 8% a year, and you're going to retire. Even if you have the average salary, $54,000 in America, you'll have $1.5 million in the bank. That's how you have to do it. So my relationship with money has always been about being careful not to waste it. My mother, Georgette, taught me, and this really probably flows into why I buy these watches, don't buy crap. She used to only buy one Chanel jacket a year, but a really good one. She loved Chanel. And when she died, there was a cat fight for her clothing amongst the women in my family because they were now vintage Chanels that were worth way more than what she paid for them. So if most people, you go look in your closet, it's full of crap you don't need. You bought crap that you just don't wear. You wore it once and it's just crap. Don't buy the crap. Buy the good stuff and just buy less of it. And when you look at something, don't buy something that you can't afford. If you can't afford a watch, you should never go into debt for a watch. That's stupid. You should earn a watch. You know, if you have a successful outcome on something, go buy yourself a watch to make that a reminder of that unique situation.
I wants to know, and they're curious. What's your name? How old are you? What do you do?
So my name is Noor. I'm 23. I was the youngest kid on Wall Street, but before all that, I grew up on food stamps and I lived in the projects. After all that, now I own a $12 million house.
12 mil?
Yeah. Now I make $3 to $5 million a year. But before I go ahead and go to my background, let me show you the house first.
I'm ready, bro. Let's go.
Let's go.
$3 to $5 million a year, huh?
Let me actually open this door for you.
Yeah, we gotta know. Wait, is this your whip?
Yeah, it's the G-Wagon.
Okay. Can we take a look at it real quick?
Yeah, of course. My keys are inside. Let me grab that.
Tell me the story about this Brabus right here.
So this Brabus, I personally just wanted a G-Wagon, but when I rode in the regular G-Wagon, I was like, that's more for like my mom, my girl, but this is a big body tank. I just wanted something to ride with every day.
Okay.
That black badge it's everything. It's crazy. It's tuned up. I got some new exhaust pipes that I just got in actually.
Okay.
Super loud and everything.
What year?
2021.
2021. How much?
When I bought it was like $440,000.
And this is not your only crib, right? You have multiple cribs in different cities, right?
Yeah.
When we spoke, this is not your only car.
No, I actually have two cars that land here tomorrow from New York. So I live in Florida, New York, and now LA. The collection, obviously other than this, I have the McLaren 600 LT, Lambo Urus, actually brand new, the new Type S version.
Nice. That's a cool collection. Hell yeah.
What mindset is essential if you want to go from zero to millionaire? That's a good question, right? What's the mindset I need to go from zero to millionaire? Discipline, millionaire. Okay, watch this. In order for me to make more money than I'm making, my attitudinal beliefs about wealth must change. Okay. So what do I change into what? Change from what? So a lot of people have attitudinal beliefs about wealth that wealth is morally wrong. Let's don't pretend that people don't have that belief. How many of y'all know somebody with that belief? Right. How many of you at least used to have that belief? Like, you make too much money, you got to be doing something wrong. You must be doing something illegal, right? So we have this belief that, but if you have...
I've heard that all the time. Like whenever I used to see people when I was younger with like a fancy car or like living in a big house, everybody be like, oh, what are they doing? They must be selling something. And I'd be like, why they gotta be selling something like illegally? Why can't they be selling something legally, And so it just he's right. You do have to change the way that you look at wealth. You can't be afraid of it. It's a good resource, you know.
Have that belief, you will never work to become something you despise. Right? So you have an internal conflict, and you don't even realize that the reason wealth creation is not working for you is because you are out of alignment with your own desires. Why? Because you believe wealth is morally wrong. I was thinking about people who say, like I've heard many people say MLM is a scam, right? Okay, multi-level marketing is a scam. That's what I heard people say. Now, I don't personally believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe the reason people who believe multi-level marketing is a scam believe multi-level marketing is, I don't believe it's the best business opportunity in the world either. So let's don't get it twisted, okay? But I believe the reason people believe it's a scam is because they believe that the most important and most valuable thing that you get from working is money. And I submit to you that the least valuable thing you will get from working is money. Well, what else do you get? Like, when I say that, how many of y'all in your mind, at least a little bit, you think, well, if it's not money, what is it? Anybody thinking that, right? Okay, do you understand that's one of the ways they keep people poor, by making them think that money is the primary benefit of work. It's way down on the list. It's like the gravy on the, I was going to say the gravy on the cake. The gravy on the mashed potatoes. It's like the icing on the cake. Like, the money's just the money. And I'm not saying the money's not important. It is important. It's just not even close to the most important thing. So here's what I get out of working. I get to develop a new skill. When I work in a business, I get to develop a whole lot of new skills. So the skills that I learn while I'm building the business, even if the business never makes me a lot of money, the lessons that I learn and the skills that I develop are worth more than the money I make. Oh, watch this. The relationships that I built. Do you know I have friends that I met through multi-level marketing 35 years ago that are still some of my closest friends today, even though they don't do multi-level marketing anymore and I don't do multi-level marketing anymore. But because I was in multi-level marketing and they were in multi-level marketing, we learned skills that didn't produce as much for us in multi-level marketing as they did in other arenas. But see, one of the reasons multi-level marketing can be so beneficial, and I'm not saying go do multi-level marketing, that's not my point. But my point is to go find something that mimics multi-level marketing, which is what? Apprenticeship and mentorship. Because when I think about some of the wealthy, the first wealthy people I ever met were multi-level marketing people. And I learned things from them that not from things they said, because more is caught than taught, but from things I watched them do.
I would say I've seen people who did MLMs, and even though, you know, I kind of understand how it works, I never was a big fan of like, oh, I have to buy the products to like make commissions, you know. But I did see that people were learning like sales skills, people were learning networking, people were learning how to close deals and stuff like that. So, you know, even in an MLM, you know, like if you're on the ground floor, you probably didn't make no money. But if you did make money, then you kind of understood how sales work, how influence worked, how to make events, and you can take those skills and start building your own business where you sell your own product.
Is what I'm saying making sense? So, but you've got to get rid of this idea that wealth is somehow inherently evil, and your attitudinal beliefs about wealth have to change.
Getting 100K is your goal. Once you get that first 100K, $1 million is your goal. Once I got my first million, I realized 100K to $1 million, 1 million to 10, it's the same distance. I just got to go get it. And I just refuse to stop.
Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep.
There is one thing that all successful people have in common, is that they are good time managers. I am going to give you the very finest time management ideas ever developed. The first idea, the most important of all, the core, is goals. What are your goals? What is it that you want to accomplish in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? The top 3% in every field have goals. The balance of the population have either very vague goals or no goals at all. So the question you have to ask yourself is, who am I? Where am I going? What do I want to accomplish? Point number 2, which is organized plans of action. Now, what is an organized plan of action? An organized plan of action is where you take your goal, you take your objective, and you write out every single step that you're going to have to follow in order to accomplish that objective. You write it out and you list all those plans of action, all of those different activities, and you organize them together into a plan that you can then implement on a day-to-day basis. The third point in excellent time management is analysis. Make a list. In fact, it's been discovered that if you make a list before you begin any task or job, you will immediately improve your productivity by 25%.
That's the truth. I'll tell you what, I have 1,000 ideas in my head, right? I have a notebook, right? But one thing that I do is I make lists because it just gets it all out of your mind. You know what I mean? If you feel like, oh man, I got so much to do, I don't know what to do, just start writing it down. Write down everything you got to do so that you can see it.
The most important reason for using a list, though, is that when you use a list and you work down the list and you check things off, each time you check something off on a list, it gives you a feeling of accomplishment. It's been well said that happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay, now the fourth principle for effective time management is to set priorities. It's interesting, there are many people who have goals, vague or clear. There are many people who do make plans, but the biggest single problem in human life is setting priorities, determining what is relevant and what is irrelevant. Highly effective people work on the vital few versus the trivial many. Ineffective people work on the trivial many. They work on things that are fun. They work on things that are easy. They work on little tasks, fun tasks, irrelevant tasks, but they keep putting off and delaying working on their major tasks. So the key to success is always be asking this question: what is the most valuable use of my time right now? I'm convinced that if all you did was organize your life and only work on the most valuable use of your time, that alone would be enough to make you an effective, efficient person. The fifth key idea in time management, which I am a fanatic on, is concentration. Concentration. People come to me in my seminars and they say, well, I never learned how to concentrate. I can't concentrate. How do I learn to concentrate? Learning how to concentrate is absolutely essential to success. As a matter of fact, it is impossible for you to accomplish anything worthwhile in life without the ability to concentrate single-mindedly on one thing at a time and stay with it until it's complete. In fact, time and motion studies have shown that if you start a task and you put it down and you come back to it and pick it up and start it and put it down and come back to it and pick it up, that it will take you as much as 500% of the necessary time to do a task than if you picked it up and carried it through.
And that's the truth too, because think about this and just look at it in this metaphorical way. Because let's say you were trying to make a cake, right? And then you put it together and you put it in the oven, and then you only baked it for 10 minutes, and then you stopped for 10 minutes, and then you baked it for 10 more minutes, and then you stopped for 10 minutes, and then you just kept going about it like that. Your cake is going to come out bad. It's not going to come out like a whole cake that sits there for the whole 60 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't be baking cakes. But you know what I'm saying. A longer duration of time, a consistent long duration of time for the cake to fully develop. If you were just to keep turn on the oven, turn it off, turn on the oven, turn it off, I don't believe you would have the same end result, you know? And that's just something that I've noticed too, is if you're going to start a task, just complete the task, or else you're going to have to keep like poking at it.
Once you have made a list of what you have to do, organized your goals, determined the highest and most valuable priority, then pick the most important thing and begin working on it and stay with it until it's finished. Now people say, well, if I stay with this task until it's finished, I won't get anything else done. That doesn't matter. If it's the most valuable thing that you have to do, it's the most important thing that you could be working on. Now it's a wonderful thing. When you concentrate and work intensely on an important task, it gives you a feeling of energy and enthusiasm. When you complete an important task, your self-esteem goes up. You feel like a winner. You feel great about yourself. But if you work away on low priority tasks, even if you complete them and do them well, you don't get any bang for the buck. You don't get any excitement or thrill from doing something that's not important. So concentrate single-mindedly on one task at a time. Do first things first and do things one at a time.
Is there some secret wealth formula that only a handful of enlightened people get to discover? Is there some mystical code that must be cracked in order for you to attain this seemingly ever so elusive wealth that you've been chasing after? Is there some scientific formula that you have to have an IQ high enough to understand its meaning. Is it some version of E equals MC square? Well, I don't think it is. I think wealth is available to almost everyone. And I don't think it's wealth that's been avoiding you. I think it's awareness of your access to the wealth that already exists. I'm going to give you, in a sentence, maybe the best sentence I've ever heard about income generation. Because when you first start out, it's so interesting. Like on your wealth journey, you first start out desiring to make a lot of money in income. So I'm going to show you in this video how to go from $0 to $1 million. Not from $0 to just from $0 to $1 million. That'd be great, because you can do that. All you got to do is make $25,000 a year and work for 40 years, right? Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to go from $0. You're not making $1 million a year, or wherever you are between 0 and $1 million, from there to $1 million a year. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you what I believe to be some of the most important principles that will help you get there, step by step. And anyway, so let's get into that. So here's the sentence. I got this sentence from one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite speakers, one of my I like most kindred spirit communicators, none other than Daniel Priestley himself. And here's what Daniel Priestley said: income follows assets. Now, if you look at your income and you're not pleased with the income that you have, don't evaluate the income, evaluate the assets.
Beyonce and Jay-Z took out $52.8 million.
Very true. Because, like, if you're not making enough money, you have to say, well, where am I at? Why am I not making enough money? Well, maybe in your current situation, you're trading time for money. You have a job. So now you need to incorporate maybe some type of side hustle, but you don't have a lot of time. So you're going to have to create maybe a product, something that can be sold online while you're still at work. You know, like you're going to have to create some sort of asset. You get what I mean? And I kind of understand that.
Home loan when purchasing their $88 million mansion in Bel Air. Why not just buy the property all cash? Well, let's do the math. If you take the portion that they use as a loan with interest over the course of 30 years, they're paying $31 million in interest. However, if you take the portion that they didn't use as cash to purchase the property and they invested it, and let's just be conservative and say that they invested it in a real estate syndication that would generate an 8% annual return, well, over the course of 30 years, that's $531 million.
So this is spot on. The richest people in the entire world use debt to get even richer. So personally, I owe $5 million to the banks, but that allows me to own 47 rental properties worth $11.5 million. So that leaves me with a net worth of $6.5 million. And I was able to do this by using other people's money. So at the end of the day, you use a small amount of money to control a bigger asset that continues to grow over time. It's really that simple. I actually made a video on how I start from scratch with real estate in 2023. Comment below property and I'll send you the link for free.
Good and bad debt. Good debt is debt that somebody else pays off for you. So when I buy an apartment house with my friend Kenny, I don't pay for it. The bank lends us the money and debt is tax-free. So let's say we put $1 million down to buy a $5 million apartment house. So we now have a $5 million asset and our tenants pay for that. That's good debt. But I take out my credit card to go eat sushi. That's bad debt because I got to pay for it. And it's that simple. So, you know, when people talk to their children and they say, look, is that good debt or bad debt? It forces them to think.
5 jobs that will make you a millionaire. The last one is the best. One.
Before we get into those jobs, that's something that I'm trying to learn and understand also. There is good debt and there's bad debt. And for example, just to make it really simple, what Robert Kiyosaki is talking about is he got the bank to lend him $1 million, but he put that down on a $5 million property apartment. So now he's going to have people paying him monthly to live in the apartments, which is ultimately going to pay off the loan and give him extra money left over each month. So his debt is good because he used it to buy an asset. He didn't use it to buy something that doesn't make him money.
That's bad debt because I got to pay for it. And it's that simple. So, you know, when people talk to their children and they say, look, is that good debt or bad debt? It forces them to think.
5 jobs that'll make you a millionaire. The last one is the best. 1, an air traffic controller, 100K per year. 2, an investment banker, 150K per year, plus big bonuses. 3, a software engineer, 200K plus big bonuses and company stock. 4, a surgeon, 350K plus per year. 5, an entrepreneur. This one is truly unlimited.
If you want $1 million, you'll make $1 million, not $1.5 million. If you want 10 million, 100 million, and you'll never exceed that. If you change 1 billion lives, that's a formula to become a billionaire and change the world. Time costs lives. Show me your friends and I show you your future. You want to know why you're all f***ed up? Just look at the bums you hang around with. I do what you don't want to do, that you know that you got to do to be where you want to be. Ted Turner just gave his 75th anniversary party on CNN a few months ago. And he makes a couple of comments and he says, number one, and I'm not suggesting this for everybody, it's how I lived though. First 10 years of my starting CNN, I slept on my couch. I didn't have an apartment. Bill Gates.
I don't know why God gave us 10 fingers, because he's only gonna need 3. Get a goal, get a plan, and get up off your ass.
All right, well, that was today's video. If you like videos like this, feel free to like and subscribe. And as always, check out, I guess, if a video popped up over here. If you want to keep deep diving into more entrepreneurial advice and business ideas, then definitely check out the channel, check out anything else. And if you want to look for more videos like this, like I said, subscribe, and I will make another one or see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.